Things have gotten messier ever since the drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni erupted, and there are recent stories of how it might be causing Blake and Ryan's marriage to fall apart. But the insane part isn't the divorce, but the real reason they're keeping the separation a secret, which is a desperate and calculated move that's once again going to leave you shocked about the couple. Right before the couple stopped making public appearances together, many people began speculating about how the Justin Baldoni lawsuit could impact their relationship. However, recent updates suggest they might not be wrong, as the couple's relationship allegedly worsened, with a significant reason behind their secrecy. Aside from the noticeable decline in their public appearances together, sources close to the couple reported something off about their dynamic. And that's not unexpected, given how the drama led people to dig into Blake and Ryan's footprints and their methods of taking over every movie production they are in, which also fueled speculation about how Blake fell in love with Justin on the set of It Ends With Us. And suddenly, everything Blake and Ryan had built together started crumbling in real time, including their marriage, but nothing will absolutely prepare you for the real reason they are keeping their divorce hidden. Here's what's wild about the timeline that predicted the divorce. Blake filed her lawsuit against Justin in December 2024, expecting the public to rally behind her as they had in the past. Interestingly, at the time, one of her dragons, Ryan, was right there beside her and making his usual jokes, coupled with the previous ones he had made with Deadpool. But the response wasn't what they anticipated. Instead of sympathy, people started questioning Blake's version of events. And that's when the cracks in their marriage really began to show, especially after people discovered they had married on a plantation and were notorious for their rudeness to others. But recently, sources close to the couple reveal they've been living essentially separate lives for nearly a year now. When they cross paths, it's reportedly so tense that they are repeatedly fighting each other. The thing about Blake and Ryan's relationship is that it's always been performative. They've sold themselves as Hollywood's perfect couple, the ones who have it all figured out, but maintaining that facade while their marriage was taking hits from Justin Baldoni's situation seems to have taken a toll that they can't hide forever. And the absolute reason they are trying to keep quiet and not confirm anything is crazier than you might imagine, as we get to it soon. Ryan's behavior during the lawsuit has been particularly revealing. While Blake was expecting him to be her dragon, he's been noticeably absent from key moments. Although he showed up at that SNL appearance, making jokes about the situation, insiders say that the appearance was more about protecting his own brand than supporting his wife. The humiliation Blake feels goes deeper than just the public backlash against her lawsuit. She's realizing that Ryan has been using her drama to stay relevant and keep himself in the headlines. He even leaked some crazy information where he was proud to let people know he told his wife to f off, and you won't believe what made him say that. Ryan was producing a documentary about the late John Candy and desperately wanted Bill Murray involved. After leaving the veteran actor 40 messages with no response, Murray finally called back, but the timing couldn't have been worse. Ryan was at a formal event with Blake when his phone rang, but the moment he answered, Blake whispered something in his ear, and that's when Ryan told his wife to off right there at the event. But what makes this even more unsettling is what the source revealed next. They said that Blake and Ryan used to tease each other all the time. It was their thing to throw playful jabs that showed how comfortable they were together, but not anymore. The insider explained that lately, the teasing feels different. It's turned cruel, and Blake's reportedly feeling humiliated by how Ryan talks to her now. Ryan acts as if she should brush off the embarrassment, as if it's no big deal that he embarrasses her in both public and private, which has turned into a toxic energy between the two. What's really interesting is how they used to manage their public appearances, always showing up together, touching, laughing, and forming their perfect couple routine. But those days seem to be over. Now, when you see them in public, it's always solo appearances. It's obvious that the Justin Baldoni situation has become the reason for everything wrong in their marriage. Blake allegedly blames Ryan for not supporting her enough. Ryan blames Blake for creating the mess in the first place. But the truth is, their marriage was already on life support long before Justin's name ever came up. People who worked on the set of It Ends With Us had been noticing tension between Blake and Ryan even during production. He would show up unannounced, inserting himself into creative decisions that had nothing to do with him. Blake Blake would get defensive, but she'd also let him do it because that's how their dynamic has always worked. Ryan takes over, Blake pretends she's okay with it, and resentment builds. The lawsuit just brought all of that dysfunction to the surface in the most devastating way possible, and now they're both realizing that the image they've been selling doesn't match the reality of who they actually are as a couple. Close sources to Blake say she feels completely betrayed by how Ryan has handled everything. She expected him to be her partner, to fight for her, to believe her unconditionally. Instead, he's been focused on damage control for his own career. Every move he makes is calculated to protect Ryan Reynolds, the brand, not Blake Lively, his wife. And this has further intensified the rumors that Blake caught feelings for Baldoni, which is why Ryan doesn't really care anymore. But then, there's one thing he truly cares about, and it's the reason the couple hasn't announced their split yet, which we're about to reveal. The public backlash against Blake has been severe. Her reputation has taken hits that might never fully recover. Ryan's image has also suffered, but not to the same extent, and they both know that announcing a divorce right now, in the middle of all this chaos, would be career suicide for both of them. And that brings us to the real reason Blake and Ryan are hiding their divorce. They're reluctant to announce their split because their public image is already so tarnished that a divorce would be the final blow to their carefully constructed brands. It's no joke that Justin's lawsuit was the main reason lots of issues got exposed, and the crazy part is that the lawsuit not only ruined Blake and Ryan's marriage, but it also ended the friendship between Taylor and Blake. Although the divorce rumors are all alleged until proven, the close sources to the couple are certain the marriage is as good as over, especially with how they stopped supporting each other in public. And at this time, they're allegedly preparing for the inevitable split and only waiting for the right moment to announce it. The problem is that there might never be a right moment, especially with how public opinion has turned against them. Even if they wait really long to take the heat off themselves, they instantly ignite people's interest in their drama when they announce anything as critical as a divorce. They've spent years selling themselves as relationship goals, and the funny couple who trolls each other on social media, the busy parents who make it all work, the Hollywood success story, admitting that it was all a lie, that they couldn't even keep their own marriage together, would destroy everything they've built. Blake's reputation is already damaged from the lawsuit. Adding a messy divorce to that narrative would confirm what critics have been saying all along, that she's difficult, demanding, and impossible to work with. It would also confirm the speculations on their relationship dynamics. So they're stuck in this horrible situation, living separate lives but unable to end things officially. They show up for the occasional public appearance, put on smiles, and hope that people don't notice how dead their relationship actually is. The shame isn't just about the divorce itself, it's about admitting they were wrong and acknowledging that their perfect life was a performance. Crazily enough, Blake has reportedly been crashing out, trying to process all of this. She's come to realize that she's spent so much of her life performing that she's lost touch with her true self, which made her recall who she used to be as Serena on Gossip Girl. The lawsuit, marriage troubles, and the public backlash are all forcing her to confront truths she's been avoiding for years. Ryan has been dealing with it in his typical way, making jokes and avoiding real emotions, but he's also starting to crack under the pressure, looking defeated and tired in recent images of him. The performance is exhausting, and maintaining the facade while their marriage is falling apart takes a toll that eventually becomes unsustainable. Their teams are allegedly developing various strategies to announce the split eventually. They may wait a year, let the lawsuit drama cool off, then quietly file for divorce. They may be staging an amicable separation narrative that says they are focusing on co-parenting, or they could eventually rip off the band-aid and deal with the fallout all at once. But here's what's really wild about all of this. The longer they wait, the worse it will be when the truth finally comes out, because it always does. And when people realize that Blake and Ryan have been lying about the state of their marriage for months or even years, the backlash will be even more severe than if they'd just been honest from the start. Nevertheless, the shame is eating them both alive. People took the time to analyze the images they had built over the years, and now that it's crumbling, they're too ashamed to admit it and too afraid to start over.